let's take a look at the second section. So we've started here, so this is still the front, and we rise up and we've turned 90 degrees, right? Turn, we've done all of this. We turn 180 degrees so that now we're facing this way, right? Boom. Then we turn 90 degrees to face front, and again we're here, boom, boom, boom. And then the final turn is 180 degrees so we face rear, right? So we're here, boom, boom, going very fast. So now the second section starts with a 90-degree turn to the right, here. And then we're going to drag down, right? So the thing to remember is we start, so we've ended the first section facing the back, and we're going to do a 90-degree turn towards what would be your left side, essentially, based on the front. If that makes any sense. But you're turning to the right. So we finished here, and you turn, shift, slide, and then you're going to do a drag down, push, right, towards the side. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to change the direction, but just remember we were doing it, we're start facing the rear. It's sitting down, turn, shift, slide the foot forward. Notice that the mechanics is basically the same. We'll always have this full commitment to the rear leg, turning the foot and then shifting the weight back. So that's the same. What's going to be different is the position of the feet and how wide they are. So we're ended here, and we sit down, bring the foot to the diagonal, shift the weight, and then the foot slides forward. That's the same transition that we had before, right? There's nothing new. So if you would just look at the feet, just here to here, same thing. The hands slide down, and now notice that I have one hand that's, in this case the left hand, is trailing with the palm facing the side. The right hand, the palm is facing down. And then I shift. During the shift, so when I turn here, hand and feet are basically in front. When I shift the weight onto the left foot in this case, the hands come so that the left hand is in front of the belly button, the right hand is behind my thigh. And what we're going to do is essentially create this, which is the tiger's mouth, and put it behind the thigh, right? So it's behind the thigh. So it's almost like you want to kind of relax the hand. You don't have to make this tight, but you want the hand to be, the thumb to be behind the thigh, the hand to be next to your leg. The front hand is in front of the belly button, palm facing this way, fingers pointing front. This hand is here. So what the hands are doing is this, right? And then from here, we rise up, and notice the knee and the hand come up at the same time. Then the hand continues, and we're going to place the hand behind the hand. And then the hands and the knee are going to go down at the same time. So what the hand is doing is this. It's like drawing a gun, right? It's like you're a quick draw artist in Old West. You're drawing a gun, right? Elbow goes up, and then you're placing the hand forward, and now you have the back of the hand against each other. Boom, boom. We'll go over all the applications of all of this later. But just the important thing is the right hand in this case is going behind the leg and then forward. Behind the leg and forward, right? So here, shift, slide the foot forward, hand is behind, and then pick up the knee and the hand at the same time, place the hand behind the hand, the left hand, and then sit down, and you're gonna sit a little lower than normal, than before at least, and we're gonna step a little further. Because we're sitting down further, our step can be longer. We're still along that vertical, but because we're sitting down further, the step can be longer than if we were standing up, right? Because again, I'm using the arc of my hip to determine the length of the step. So instead of stepping just here, I'm gonna sit further, which means that now I can place my foot a little further forward. So from here, sit, step forward, and then we're gonna push. push. And notice again, we're doing the same thing, stepping onto the heel, rolling the foot, pushing with the front toes, except that before we were doing it just here. Now we're going to do it with a bigger step, a greater extension, but the same exact principle. The front foot is there to prevent you from sitting on the front leg. So you're not pushing by sitting down, you're pushing by, in this case, we're sitting down, but onto the rear leg. So instead of trying to rise up to push, we're going to sit down and push. And we're pushing with, again, what's called the tiger's mouth, which is this space right here. And this, you want to think that you're pushing against somebody's belly, right? You're here and you push. And you push and you sit down as you push. You should feel that your rear foot, and your rear leg, which is actually providing the power, right, is not only being counterbalanced by the front foot, but it's almost like what he wants to do is turn, so that if you could, you would do this, right? The foot turning out. But you don't, because you're not going to go that far. You're going to here, and then you sit. You sit down and you push, right? So the right hand is moving forward, palm open, fingers against the elbow, right? So you're here. This is called drag down. So again, drag down is the name of the move, and the entire move is this: here to here to here to here. But this is rollback. Now this is yank, which is a move we haven't seen before. Yank and push. So drag down is created by doing rollback, yank, push in different directions. If this gets a little complicated, don't worry too much about it. We're going to keep going back to it. The thing to remember is we have just these few basic moves that we're going to express in different ways, in different directions, and we're going to combine them into different ways, which is why I keep saying this is the grammar, because we use this in order to recombine everything together in order to create sentences or words. So in this case, the sentence we're creating is drag down, and the components of that sentence is roll back, yank, push. If you wanted to, you could say this is actually roll back, push. This is a knee strike. That would be a push and a yank and a push. Depends on the situation. But you can see how, again, this grammar, we can putting together components. So let's go back to, remember we finished this way. So we sit down on the right leg and we turn, bring the left foot to the diagonal. Shift, slide the right foot to the side. Rise up, drag down, and push. Okay? So again, we start facing the rear, sit down on the right leg, bring the left toes to the diagonal, shift the weight, slide the hands, slide the foot. Pick up the right foot, drag down, and push. And now we're going to do something called brush knee twist push. So we were here. I'm going to show you and then change directions. We're going to stand up, circle the hands, brush the knee, turn and push. Okay, so just so that you remember, we're facing this way, we're doing a 90-degree turn facing this way. But let me face this way now so you can clearly see. So after the drag down, the hands are going to move in opposite directions as we stand up and look back and then look front. Big step, brush the knee, twist and push. So from here, what's happening? So the first thing is we're standing back up. So we were pushing, lots of energy, low energy going this way. We're going to stand back up, right? So now back to the vertical, nice and tall. The front hand, so in this case my right hand, comes up here. So I'm now looking at it like it's a mirror. So we're going from here to look at yourself in the mirror, right? So the eyes follow the hand, here to here. Notice what happened with my left arm. All I've done is dropped it. So if you just relax the arm and come here. you'll be in the correct position, right? Literally all you have to do, drop the arm, right arm is now in front of you, nice circle, palm facing front. But now we're going to continue this motion, and I'm going to look back, and as I look back, my left arm rises and my right hand drops, so that they're both now pointing in the same direction. So what we've done is we've gone from here to here, looking back. So we're looking in the direction that the hands are pointing, right? So it's here, standing up, pointing back. Then I look front, and then I take a big step. So the directions are getting confusing because you keep switching, but remember that we start facing this way, turn, drag down, and now brush knee. Brush knee. So drag down, circle the hands, look back, look front. Again, a big sitting down on the left leg, big step. It's going to be front and slightly to the side, right? So it's a big step front and to the side. And then we're going to brush your knee. My weight is still on the left leg in this case, right? So my right hand is brushing, and when it reaches basically over my own knee is when I turn and shift forward. Notice what we're doing here is preserving the diagonal, because I'm here, take a big step, pushing with my left leg, so my right arm is full, is active. Right, this is a brush. Arc of the arm, brushing. Now my left palm is now going to be activated because I'm going to shift my weight forward, bring the toes in, and push. It's the exact same step that we did before, right? When we did seal it closed in the first section, same exact thing. We're here, we bring the toes in, nice and close. And it's that shifting of the weight onto the right leg is what propels the left hand forward. Now, just to show it clearly, when we're here, notice that essentially what's happening is that my left hand from here, from a drag down, my left hand is doing a circle and then a straight line. Circle, straight line. My right hand is doing circle, 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 circle. All right? So that's going to be the difference. One arm is sweeping, the other arm is striking. Sweep, strike, sweep, strike. The other thing to keep in mind is that it's the hips that are turning. So when I'm here from drag down, I stand up, turn, and then here I'm going to turn this into a horizontal sweep, but it's because my hips are turning. My arm isn't. This is a turn of the waist, not a turn of the arm. So the arm is not sweeping. The arm is essentially doing this, right? The arm is traveling along the vertical plane, but because I'm turning my waist, it makes it look like my arm is suddenly going along the horizontal plane. But that horizontal shift is from the hips, not the arm. The arm is still just doing this. But because I'm turning the waist, right? Suddenly the arm seems like it's moving in a different direction. But it's the waist that's turning, not the arm. The arm is still just doing this. Same with the rear arm, the left arm in this case. It's doing this and this. That's it. It's a half a moon. That's it. That's all it's doing. Circle, straight line. Circle, straight line. But because I'm also stepping, suddenly the arm has a lot more amplitude, but only because my body is moving. In relationship to my own body, the hand is just doing this. Circle, straight line. Circle, straight line. But here, because I'm stepping and turning, you can see that my arm is actually traveling quite a lot through space. And if you put the two of them together, you can see that there's a lot of movement that's happening, but it's because I'm stepping forward. I'm taking this big step and turn forward. Back and forth. Back and forth. Right? And that's the power, actually, of brush knee, is that you have your whole body behind it. The arms are just doing circles, but you're stepping and moving the body through it. Okay? That's the power of brush knee. So, we were here, we bring the left toes to the diagonal, shift, and then drag down, push, and then brush knee, looking back, look forward, step, brush, and push. And now we're gonna play the pipa. Right, play the pipa. So we were here, the right arm goes up, left toes cross, shift, drag down, step, and push. So, from brush knee, right arm goes up, left toes cross, and this is going to happen at the same time, right? So I'm here, brush knee, my weight's on the right leg. So right arm, left toes. And the toes are going to simply cross. You don't want to go too far. It's simply bring them so that the toes are by your heel and they're aimed so that the heel is in line with the rear diagonal, right? So here, let's go back from here. Right arm goes up, left toes cross. Left hand stays essentially in the same position. But now I'm going to shift the weight onto my rear foot. And notice what that happens with the body. Because my foot is angled towards the diagonal, when I shift my weight, so I'm 100% on the front leg, and I'm going to shift to be 100% on the rear leg, my hips need to follow the aim of my foot, right? So the mistake is to go here and keep the hips fixed in the same position. This again is not a stable position. So when my foot and my weight pulls me backward, I'm allowing that weight to turn, so now my foot, knee, and hips are again pointing in the same direction. Notice I'm now balanced on my toes of the front foot, right? So I'm here, and I turn. And now I'm sitting on the rear leg, picking up the heel of the front foot, so I'm on the toes of the front foot, right? That's crucial because it means that the whole body now has turned. So you've essentially stepped to the side and back, and turn. So if we add the arms, we're here. So notice my arm sweeps through space. It was here, simply because my body has turned. But I'm going to bring that arm forward in front of me. So as I step, the arm is sweeping through space because the body moves, but I'm going to add to that movement by bringing the hand in front of me. So I have this curve in the arm, and again, palm facing the face. Same exact thing as we just did for, right, when we circle back for brush knee, the hand was here looking at the palm. Same exact thing. I'm here, bring the hand in, except that before we were along the vertical plane, now we're doing the same thing along the horizontal plane, right? We're doing this, boom. We're here, the arms goes here. But we step at the same time, right? Look in the mirror. The hand is the mirror, and you just look into it. So when you're here, boom. And then we're going to sit. The left hand does the exact opposite of what we just done for brush knee, which means that instead of shooting forward, it's going to come back. Again, along a straight line, elbow and hand along the straight line. All you're doing is you're doing this. You're bringing the hand to the chest. But because the body's moving, you're here. But you're literally all you're doing is this. Hand to chest, keeping the elbow up, hand to chest. But you're stepping, so it looks like this. Because the body is moving, but the hand is just doing this. So right arm is doing this, left arm is doing this, right? That's it. But because you're stepping and the whole body is moving through space, doing like this. So now we were facing front, or this side, we're going to face the diagonal. Then we sit, and then we pick up the front foot and step back, so we're back in alignment, right? Because the thing to remember is that when we're, for example, facing this way, so we just done brush knee, the opponent is still facing in this direction. So when we turn to the diagonal here, bad guy is still right there. So we sit down, pick up the front foot, and when we pivot back so that we're facing back towards our opponent. So it's a temporary turn to the diagonal, right? We're just here. Bad guy's here, throws a punch. We deflect, pull down, step back towards that direction of that we're traveling in the same at the beginning, right? So that's important. So it's a deviation, and we come back to the front. So again, facing the camera, from brush knee, right hand, left toes cross, turn to the diagonal, pull down, pick up the right foot, step back towards the front, and then rise up and push. And you're pushing with the back of the hand. This can be a push with all of this. It could also be a jab with the hand. It could be a punch. But what you're doing basically is rising up and pushing. Notice the hand is still here by the elbow. Boom. Okay, so that together is the second section. All right, now you're just going to repeat it 4 times. So we were here, facing front or facing the back, turn, drag down, push, brush knee, play the pipa. The pipa is a Chinese guitar. So this is the pipa, right? It's like you're playing a guitar. And now we're going to do a 180-degree turn. So again, shift the weight to the rear leg, bring the toes in, shift the weight, boom, bring the foot so it's pointing in this direction. Drag down, brush knee, play the pipa. Now we turn 90 degrees. Turn, foot to the diagonal, shift the weight, slide the foot forward, drag down, brush knee, play the pipa, and push. Now 180-degree turn. So shift the weight fully to the rear, bring the foot to the diagonal, shift, and boom, drag down, brush knee, play the pipa, boom. Okay, notice once again, the pattern is 90, 180, 90, 180. So from the very beginning, if I start here, right, basic posture, I go 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, 90 degrees, 180, 90 degrees, 180. So it's the exact same pattern, and we're following the same exact procedure. Sit back on the rear leg, bring the toes, point them to the diagonal that you need, shift the weight fully, now face the direction that you're going in, okay? So the principles are exactly the same. So now you've seen the 2 segments out of 3 of the 13 postures. Each segment repeated 4 times to each cardinal direction, right? That's the important part. So we finish, right, because we started here, first segment, 90 degrees, 180, 90, 180. Second section, right, here, 90 degrees here, 180, then 90 degrees, right, and then 180 until we face front again, right? So we end up here. And now we start the third section.